And here we are with Game 2 of the first round of Swiss from the Worcester Manor League tournament held in July. That was the 12th of July 2014, brought to you by Netrunners.co.uk. Myself on the left there playing Chaos Theory, and Johnny from on the right there playing Grindle. So as you again saw from the first game, and if you haven't watched it, now's your chance to go and do so. I was able to get a little bit fortunate as RP, and Johnny got a little bit careless and a little bit over aggressive, given that he lost all of his corroders, decided that the time was there then to strike, and unfortunately snared himself to death. My Chaos Theory deck, I'm feeling a little bit more confident about. It's something of my own creation. If you hadn't had a chance to have a look on our forums over at Netrunners.co.uk, or if you haven't come across it on my Twitter feed, which is Netrunners.uk, please go have a look. It's called the Latchkey Kid, and I'm very happy with it overall. The idea is to punish open servers as much as is humanly possible. If they leave a server open, I'm going to go in, I'm going to punish it quite quickly and quite hard. As you can see from my opening hand there, I've got an opening Opus. It looks like I've also got a Sneak Door in hand. Effectively the splashes in the deck, and I'll put a deck list up online as well, but the splashes in the deck are one Sneak Door, one Keyhole, one Fairy, one Parasite, one Fem, and one Corroder. And a Mimic, sorry. So lots of sentry coverage, but bottom line is the deck is more about tricks, and the Sneak Door and Keyhole are unbelievably good in this deck, and hopefully over the course of this tournament I can demonstrate their usefulness. A lot of people will turn around and say, why on earth are you splashing for a Keyhole in Shaper, who have R&D interface and indexing and Maker's Eye and so forth, but the fact that it's a program, that it's tutorable, means that SMC suddenly becomes the biggest threat on the board, and can, like I say, punish slow starts quite significantly. It certainly looks here as if Johnny's in the unfortunate position of having to mulligan, and as he mulligan, it looks like he's drawn up a couple of 3-pointers in hand. I haven't had the chance to see those yet, but I'm going to run R&D first click. Looks like I saw a Beanstalk, I would suggest. He's not going to res the ice on R&D. I guess with that many agendas in hand, it looks like he had at least two. I'll run HQ, make him res a Enigma before I lose the third click, but that's fine. And I've got that lovely bad pub to be able to use again, which in a Shaper deck is absolutely phenomenal. When you've got clone chips and SMCs on the board, you can use that bad publicity to really get some tasty discounts. It's effectively like I'm playing Kate as well as Chaos Theory at this stage in the game now. Getting a discount, all I've got to do is run archives instead of installing something with an SMC or clone chip out, and I can bring back some lovely reductions. So it looks as if he's got 2 3-pointers in hand, if I'm going to hazard a guess. I couldn't quite make out from his cards, but I think that's about right. And one can presume if you're running 3-pointers in a Grindle deck, you're expecting to see punitive counter-strikes, and certainly it's something I do play around. He's definitely got a government contract there in hand. I'm very worried, in a way, about scoring 3-point agendas without a Plascrete on the board, and it's going to be something I'm going to look for. I've got 2 Plascretes in the deck, which is typically enough for a Chaos Theory deck. As I say, this deck is all about efficiency, and although I haven't put down that Magnum Opus yet, looks like I just clicked for a credit. I kind of want to keep my options open here. I'm not seeing there as being any immediate concern. I may put it down first turn here, depending on what happens. Looks like I am. I think I was waiting to see if he was going to install that in 20 remotes. So I'm going to install first click and take 6 and pass it back to him. Like I say, I'm pretty sure there I was just waiting to see if he was going to set a remote up and potentially go in and test run Fem it. And again, test run Fem being ridiculously strong, and a way to apply huge remote pressure. Effectively, the way I played this deck throughout the course of the day was to leave R&D unless I had a strong Keyhole play. He's going to play a subliminal messaging, and effectively just hit HQ very hard, put so much pressure on the hand that they have to put remotes down, run every single remote, and just force agendas to build up in hand until I can play a Sneak Door or just run through HQ and cause them real problems and aggravation. This deck is very effective at pressuring all servers on the board, R&D, HQ, archives, as well as remotes. And I'm very fond of it, as I keep keep mentioning. The deck is my baby. It's my lovely baby. So hopefully, again, I'll give a good account of it as the game progresses. So I do have a keyhole there in hand, by the looks of it, as well as a Gordian blade. I'm going to play a clone chip first of all for 1 credit, and I'm going to take some money with Magnum Opus. And looks like I'm passing the turn back. No immediate rush. He's going to play their Subliminal. I didn't make a run. I'm not too worried about that. He's ahead economically quite significantly already at this stage, and though I've got a Magnum Opus, I'm quite happy. Also, it's something to bear in mind that it's quite possible that he could play power shutdowns if I start making runs. I didn't really want to lose the clone chip at this stage. Gives me a second use of an SMC, and effectively can give me a full breaker suite. Deck running 3 SMC, 3 clone chips, 3 scavenge, 3 test runs, so all the tutoring, all the recursion, any means necessary to get at that early doors opus and to put the early pressure on. You put an SMC down on the board, and suddenly nothing is safe. He's going to install a remote, and oh sorry, no, he's not. He's going to oversight AI a curtain wall, and that is on the inside, so it doesn't have quite as much strength as he would want it to have, but it's still not bad for an oversight AI. And I'm quickly rethinking my plan of playing the keyhole there, and deciding it's not worth the keyhole now at this stage. I may as well leave R&D alone and wait for him to go into hand. So exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to play Sneak Door Beta, first click. Second click I'm going to use Sneak Door. At this point he's drawn up quite aggressively. You see his Scorched Earth, which is useful to know. I'll go again. See government contracts, which I'll score, and I will certainly not go again here in case of a punitive in hand, and I need to make sure that I have enough cards to be able to deal with a punitive counter-strike, so I'll draw. Taking me to 5, which means that he'll have to double punitive me, which is a possibility, and unfortunately there's not a lot you can do about that, but with 4 credits on the board, yeah, it's not going to help. But still, he would have to double punitive me, and that's a lot of money. 10 credits is not cheap. I was quite relieved to see him draw twice, which I'm surprised to see him do. He's probably looking for ice. Oh, sorry, draw twice now. He's probably looking for ice to install over archives and try and lock out my Sneak Door. But again, I'm being able to put pressure on him here without any icebreakers whatsoever. Very much in the similar vein to Criminal, effectively, who can account siphon and again, Sneak Door, emergency shutdown, but get him with fairies. Very much a Criminal kind of style deck. He's going to install a remote, and he's either here looking to bounce me away from HQ, or he is looking to get the sneaky one in. It's a Grindle refinery, so he's just looking to distract me a little bit, I would say. I'm debating whether to trash it, and I will. I'll use a bad pub and a credit to trash the refinery. Then I think I'm going to just go in and check HQ at this point. And I will score a cleaners for 6, taking me to match point. And this is the problem, unfortunately, of a bad start early on. I'm going to go in and try and find that last agenda, just in case it is there. Certainly won't have to worry about punitive counter-strike at that stage. And I'll go again. And I'll see another government contract taking me to 9 points. That's the game. And look at that, he still had a priority wreck in hand there. He had just dumped another one in archives, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about that. Sort of 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 points of agendas in his hand, or in archives in that instance, that he saw early doors, and there's just nothing you can do about that. Complete agenda flood, not good play on my part, just good luck, good fortune, and a little bit unlucky there on Johnny. But again, that's the power also of Sneak Door Beta. Certainly proving its worth. You can kind of tell as soon as he double iced HQ there, he was incredibly worried about what was going to occur. Punitive counter-strike on top of R&D there as well, and nay an agenda in sight until about 12 cards in. So unfortunate there for Johnny, but I go in 2-0 into the second round of Swiss. Quite happy with that, and quite happy with the speed of the game with the Chaos Theory. Again, she can punish weakness, and that is exactly what she did there. So join us for round 2, and we hope to see you there.